Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to another sort of episode of Inside the Lockdown, as we've been calling it at RADA now. And we've done a few of these over the last few weeks, and the aim of them is to keep our members as updated as we can. And I'm really chuffed to bits that Zoe from Wales Golf is joining us on the call tonight. Zoe is a good friend of mine, a former colleague at Wales Golf, and has got a lot of information, obviously. So welcome, Zoe. Hope you're well.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
I mean, the main discussion for us, we're going to keep this light-hearted. And one thing I will say is probably we are potentially going to be interrupted by children at any time. So the members will have to put up with that, I'm afraid, if that does happen. But the main insight for us tonight is to get some insight on from the industry, from Wales Golf's point of view, and how things are progressing there. Obviously, what the challenges have been for you as a governing body. How you're supporting clubs, and then the all-important question, which everyone seems to be asking at the moment, is how and when is golf likely to open? So, I mean, let's start. What have the challenges been for you guys in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, thanks, Stu. So, we're having to adapt the same way everybody is. So at the moment, the development team in Wales Golf, we're all working from home, which is, happening a lot. We've had to adapt to that. Our main challenges have been around supporting clubs. So we know in terms of financially, golf clubs have taken a huge hit in the past couple of months. We're very different to other sports. I was speaking to one of my colleagues in the Welsh Rugby Union, and, they can just shut the doors and let the grass grow, and, they'll come back when they can come back. The challenge for golf courses, as you know, is that we need to continue to look after them, because when we start back at golf again, we want them to be still in a fantastic position. So the real challenge has been to help clubs access grants, loans, the various funding streams that are out there, and really support them, because we need all our clubs in Wales to be here the other side of this.
Yeah, I mean, all the clubs you obviously support as a governing body. I know I used to work with you. You support all the clubs across Wales. But what are the key things you're helping clubs with at the moment?
Yeah, so the past few weeks, it's mainly been looking at the finances for a lot of clubs. This is renewal periods, and really helping to forecast with clubs to see, truly are they going to be sustainable in the next few months, and how are we going to get through this? So accessing government grants, and the landscape has been, it's been really great to see what is available, but there are definitely clubs that are falling through cracks. So it's been our job to really support those ones in need, to access what's available. And nicely, the government are bringing out different things all the time, but we're there to kind of understand the picture and give the clear facts in terms of what's available.
Yeah. I mean, as a club, we've looked closely at all the financial support, like every other club has, and it is encouraging to see that the government are bringing out new schemes that hopefully, we've been unsuccessful in some government grants, which I'm sure the clubs have, and some clubs have obviously been successful, which is great. But it is nice to see that they are bringing out new things. But I mean, obviously, the clubs that you are seeing, obviously, communication at this particular time is something that we focused on quite heavily, hence why we're having this conversation now. We obviously keep our members as updated as we can. Is that a bit of a trend in clubs at the moment? Are you seeing more and more of that?
Yeah, we've been really pleased, really. I mean, the golfing community as a whole is always very, friendly and welcoming. It's a nice place to be. But actually, we're seeing through this COVID-19 crisis that clubs are pulling together, and memberships are pulling together, and really, really wanting to help clubs survive through this and thrive out the back of it. And that kind of support network we're seeing between golf club managers and golf clubs is so pleasing to see. And we hope we can sort of continue with this. Some of the research that we're seeing in Europe is that for some European countries that are starting to phase back golf, they're seeing increases in memberships and more people accessing golf, because we're so lucky that if we do it right, we can demonstrate that we are a sport that we can start back sooner than some other sports that may take that bit longer.
Yeah, I was funny you said I was on a call with the PGA just before I came on with you, and that was one of the messages. I'd be interested to get your point of view that possibly golf could be stronger on the other side of this, because, like you said, we'll see increase in membership. Obviously, it's going to be a members-driven club probably for the next couple of months because of the scenario that we're in. But do you see it obviously being a lot stronger, possibly?
Yeah, we're hopeful. All my club phone calls today, and we're doing lots of video meetings like this. Clubs are starting to have individuals that maybe are lapsed golfers or used to play as young children thinking about, well, I still want to be active and sporty and get back to doing something, and golf could be the answer to that right now. And what a fantastic sport in terms of getting out in the green space and mental health and well-being. And if we, like I say, if we can do it in a safe way, then we hope that we'll be in a much better position at the end of this.
Yeah, I mean, we've certainly seen our courses, obviously, like every other, is closed at the moment. We've had a lot of walkers come onto the golf course. Some clubs I know are not a huge fan of that, but we've tried to obviously embrace it as much as we can. And actually, we're seeing a lot of people coming to us and saying, well, do you know what? I didn't even know the golf course was here. It's right in the heart of our community. And when you are open, we're going to come back and we're going to be members of the club, which is obviously positive for us. So let's get into the ultimate question, which everyone is asking at the moment. Like I said, I was on a call with the PGA and a couple of others. There's some documents. There's a lot of press coming out at the moment saying that golf could potentially reopen. What's the message coming out of Wales golf at the moment?
Yeah, so we've had a really busy week. There's so much speculation, and quite rightly, because everyone is so keen to start back. And we believe as an industry, actually, we can do it safely, and we can phase back to golf in a safe way that will be really beneficial. But the key message for us at the moment is there is no fixed date. The Wales Golf, the RNA, and the various bodies are working very closely with the government to finalise some of the details, and when that's been agreed upon, then we will then share that out with golf clubs. We're working with golf clubs at the moment to create really robust risk assessments, to look at all the various touch points, what we do around the tee, the car park areas, changing facilities, etc. We've got the kind of eyes of the nation on us as a sport to really demonstrate that we can do this in a really safe way. So we need to make sure we get it right. If we don't get it right and we rush it, then possibly it won't happen, or we'll get shut down again, and that would be devastating. So the key message is there is no news, there is absolutely no date as of yet, but as soon as we know, we'll be letting clubs know with plenty of time to get prepared. But I know something that Stu's really big on, and Rada, is making sure that you're super organised and you have done the planning. So I would imagine you've already done that.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably a good time to tell the members. Yeah, we have had two meetings now just regarding the planning of how we're going to reopen, and it's going to be very different, isn't it? I think we're going to come into a time where it is going to be. It's not going to be like it was 6 weeks ago, just before the lockdown. What are sort of some of the key smaller things, I suppose, that you've seen in some of the documents that are going to be different for our members when they come back?
Yeah, so I mean, all the details need to come out and they need to be finalised. We've seen some clubs already giving messages to their members to say, oh, well, we're going to be playing in 2 balls or 3 balls. Tee time booking, we know, is going to be something that will probably be a requirement. We definitely know there's going to need to be increased marshals or starters around that first tee to ensure people aren't queuing, and sort of social distancing and spacing. So increased hand sanitizing stations, but there are still lots of details to be decided upon. So we don't want to give you misinformation. When we get the actual facts, we'll let you know. But absolutely, the first phase of this will be very, very strict and very structured, and hopefully as the phases progress. So we're sure in that this first phase there will be no competitive golf, for example. It'll be social golf, and if we can demonstrate that we can do that and manage that really well, and we know that there's been an increased presence of the police sort of just checking out our golf courses, seeing who's on them, kicking off some of the walkers if they're not abiding by rules. So we've noticed the traffic on our courses. So if we can get people back out there playing, then hopefully we can demonstrate we can start pushing down the phases.
So I think it's going to be a phased approach, isn't it? And I think our members and all members of all clubs have got to be patient when it comes to that. It is going to be different, but I think the positive in a really dark time for every industry is that I think the PGA Rob Maxfield said today that it's the first time probably in golf's history that golf has been discussed in the halls of Houses of Parliament, and that says something really big for the sport. And like we said earlier, that could come out really positive the other side. I mean, thanks. So I know it's been a busy week for you this week. You've been flat out with Zoom calls. This was just another one of those, but I really appreciate you taking the time to come and talk to us. I know we're going to be working together more in the next couple of months, I would imagine. We've got a lot lined up, but thank you for taking the time, and keep safe, and pass all my best back to the Wales golf team as well.
Yeah, well done, and well done for all your hard work, because you really are doing all the things that we could possibly hope for. So off the back of this, hopefully we'll see some great things.
Great. Thanks, Em. Thank you.
Stu. Okay, bye.